Good afternoon. It is around 1:45 Arizona time, and we are doing a couple things. One, we're testing our YouTube capabilities, and as we prepare to live stream our service this coming Sunday at 4:30. One, testing out this format and seeing how it works for you all. So let me know how it comes across. And two, I just want to give you guys some encouragement throughout the week since we are social distancing and trying our best to mitigate the spread of COVID 19 as a church. That's one way that we can love our neighbors well and a way that we can serve our communities. But as I was prepping for the sermon for this coming Sunday, we're in Titus, and providentially, we come to Titus 3:1, which says, to be submissive rule remind them to be submissive to rulers and authorities. And as I was talking to other pastors and seeking wisdom and trying to discern as a church plant in the midst of this, how do we move forward and how do we decide what's the best way to continue to shepherd and continue to try to worship together as a community? Romans 13 is one that came to mind, and it's similar vein as Titus 3, which is the idea that we need to submit to the civil authorities that God has placed over us. And that at times can be difficult to honor them and to the people that God has placed over us. And if you think of the context of the early church, they were under Roman rule and at times were severely persecuted for their faith. Now, the submission isn't an absolute submission. And what I mean by that is that there are times when we shouldn't submit to authorities. For example, Daniel is in Babylon under captivity, and he does not pray to a false idol. In Acts, the early church, in Acts chapter 5, are commanded by the religious authorities and the government authorities not to do what they're doing, to stop, to cease and desist. But Peter and the apostles answered in Acts 5:29, we must obey God rather than men. So there's a time and a place where if the government were to crack down on churches, that we would resist. This is not the time or the place. The reason why we are honoring our authorities is because it's for the common good. It's out of a love for our neighbors in an effort to, as the experts have said, to flatten the curve, to keep social distance so that we don't tax our healthcare system, so we don't inadvertently affect those that are more vulnerable to the virus. So it's really an act of love for our neighbor and a desire to honor God in submitting to the government's instruction. If it were just targeted to churches, that would be a different story, but they are asking everyone to participate in the request to reduce gatherings to no more than 10. So at Hope Community Church, we are looking for ways to still reach out and connect, but also to honor our government authorities. If you have any questions or if you want any further discussion via YouTube, feel free to post some comments below, and look forward to trying some new things with technology, utilizing the gifts that God had given us and to an effort to redeem them for His glory and our good. Hope to see you soon.